Ladies and gentlemen, I learned that a healthy person has 1,000 wishes and a sick person has one. This is my story. From the age of 16 to 25, all I wanted to do was be a professional boxer. Excuse me, it's getting hot in here. Thank you. I wanted to be a professional boxer. This was my story. Every day for 3 hours. This is what my 3 hours consist of. I would wake up in the morning, 6 a.m., get into the gym, shadow box, jump rope, hit the bag, spar. I did this from the age of 15 to 25. This is all I knew. So I still know how to move at 34, but it's not, it wasn't like how I was when I was that young. My dad calls me on my 25th and a half birthday. He says, "You have to do your routine physical." And my routine physical consists of full blood panels to understand that I needed to get ready for a fight and get ready for my 26th birthday. He said, on your 26th birthday, you're not going to be able to be qualified under my medical policy anymore. So I said, okay, Dad, on my 26th birthday, I requested to do a full panel blood test. The thing about this is that I walked into the doctor's office and I was so confident that I was so healthy that I didn't care if they did the blood work, they did a stretch test, they did a mental evaluation, and they said, "You're perfectly fine, but give us 2 days and let me see what your blood levels look like." "No worries, doc." I left. I said, I don't need to hear anything because I know I was in shape. I ran from 6 to 7 or 8:30 every morning. And I just walked in there feeling really good. She calls me 2 days later. She says, "Mr. Coronel, your creatinine levels seem to be a little bit elevated. We want to know why that is. We got to get you into a biopsy." I said, "Okay, great. I mean, it's probably a misunderstanding. Data must have been off. There's no way that there's something wrong with me. I'm fully aware that my body's completely in shape." We set it for 2 days later. We get into the hospital. Who knows what a biopsy is? A biopsy. Do you guys know how they do it for the kidneys? And if you don't, I'll explain. They get some gel, they put it on a machine, and they rub it around in a circular rotation in your kidneys. I go in, they do that. I sit down. I said, "Look, oh my goodness, this is some crazy stuff." They do that. The biopsy comes next, which is about another hour and a half later. They go in, you go into a room, you're greeted by a doctor and a tech, who's the x-ray technician, puts a radiation thing to get that coverage of that kidney. They get some anesthesia, hit it twice, and they pull out a big gun. It's about this long with a circular rotation and then a needle. "Mr. Coronel, lay face down." So I'm laying face down. Hit me with the 2 injections. The x-ray comes off. The doctor comes in. "Mr. Coronel, you're only going to feel a little click." Click. My kidney comes up. "Mr. Coronel, go up to your room." I go up to my room. And I remember waiting that day. I'm like, dang, what if there's really something wrong with me? I've been fighting my whole life. Now I'm going to be fighting for my life. I remember waiting in the room. I think my dad was there, and the doctor comes in. He says, "Mr. Coronel, I'm sorry to inform you, but you've been diagnosed with FSGS." Oh, man. That was one of the toughest times of my life because I didn't know what that was. I didn't even know how to say this. And that was really, really, I was like, am I dying? Am I living? When you get diagnosed with something like this, you don't know what to expect. And when you don't know what to expect, you start to go really insane. I was going insane. I was depressed. I had anxiety. And they told me, well, you're going to start to need to see a nephrologist. And what is that? Is it a general doctor? I didn't know what a nephrologist was. And I started to interview nephrologists to see which one fit my personality. Because every nephrologist has a different way of projecting the way they know about medicine. He says, "Mr. Coronel, your life changed." I went from protein shakes, ladies and gentlemen, to this many medications overnight. This is what 6 months looks like. I knew one day I was going to tell a story, so I kept every single one of them. But this is what it looks like. I want to just leave this here so you guys see. And actually, this is tough. I'm 26, and I get that many medications on me. I'm like, wow. He said, that's not even it. At this point, every month till you either get on dialysis or a kidney transplant, you're going to have to do blood work, no matter what. So I'm recording my journey now at this point. I'm like, oh my God. So this is my life. Every month on the 31st, I'm in to do blood labs. And he said, Mr. Coronel, if you do bloods now, get in for a kidney evaluation. Who knows, if you get on dialysis, you'll have enough time accumulated to get a kidney transplant. I said, I'll do a kidney transplant. What does that consist of? What I didn't realize, they do a full evaluation, they do a full interview, and they take this much blood from you. And you're like, oh my God, I can't even count that many. Yet alone I have to give that much blood out. I was like, wow, this is pretty insane. So this is what a kidney transplant evaluation looks like, ladies and gentlemen. I was like, look, this is too much for me. I was still trying to box within trying to take those medications, doing a kidney transplant, trying to get a kidney. But the average wait time in California is 10 years. That's the average wait time for me to get a kidney. I'm 33 now, probably won't get one till I'm about 44. It won't probably be evaluated, and I'm on the actual bed till I'm 50. So for the next couple of years, I want to be fighting for my life on dialysis, right? So I decided, you know what? I can't feel sorry for myself. Let's create a PSA. Let's talk about me, what I'm good at, and share to the world and hope someone can donate their kidney to me. So I created this PSA.
The ring can be a lonely place, but I'm never alone. I could do any of this stuff without a great team in my corner. Family, friends, doctors, and coaches are always there to support me. And it's that support that gets me through my toughest battle. These days I'm fighting FSGS Kidney disease, and it hits harder than any punch I've ever taken. 20 million Americans are diagnosed yearly with chronic kidney disease. It's a brutal opponent, powerful, ruthless, relentless, and overwhelming. I'm going into a transplant situation that is going to alter my life permanently. But I have people I can lean on, people that can pick me up, people I can draw strength from. We all do. I'm only 27 years old. It's way too early for me to throw in the towel. It's way too early for any of us. All of us who are fighting this disease are not alone. People have been asking me, have I ever felt like giving up? Not in this lifetime.
I had to share my story. I met George Lopez within the process of doing that. He had kidney failure, he got a kidney transplant. I started to ask people within a community in the Hollywood scene that I was working at who had kidney failure. I started to realize that there were people out there, and that people that are patients, we tend to tell each other because we understand each other more. I can tell, how do you feel about being a FSGS patient or a kidney patient? You know, we talk about it, depression, we go through it, but you can't stop fighting. There's something you just can't, I just can't stop fighting. I have to keep pushing my limits to making sure that I can be the best me. One day a man comes into my gym. He comes in very depressed. I said, how you doing, mister? Are you okay? You know, I'm already going through my own depressing state. He comes in, walks in, very depressed. I said, what's wrong? He said, my mother died. I said, oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I said, I hold mitts, put on some gloves, get your frustration out, hit my hands. He said, sure. Punches my hands for a couple minutes. He's done, leaves the gym. 2 weeks later, he comes and approaches me. He says, Mr. Coronel, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that somebody was able to look at me in my most downest moment, losing my mother, and holding mitts and saying, I'll help you out. He said, what's your story? He says, my name is Ted Johnson. I'm the senior editor at Variety magazine. I didn't know what that was. I read Ring magazine. I wanted to see who was the top professional boxer, who was Sports Illustrated, who was the number one, the Lakers, who was it? So he tells me I'm this senior writer at Variety magazine. And I said, okay, that's nice. What's your story? I said, I have a story written out in the PSA, which is the one you guys just seen. He said, send it over my way. Let me see if I can post it on Variety magazine. And I really appreciate what you did for me. Thank you. Calls me, emails me 24 hours. He said, Mark, I can't. We're an entertainment firm. We only cover entertainment stories. He said, but let me ask my colleagues and see where I can put you on. That's when I get approached by the Huffington Post. He said, what you did for our colleague Ted Johnson was very fascinating. We would love to hear your story. Read my story, seen the PSA, and said, we want to give you a shot at the Huffington Post. So I get a shot. I get a shot at the Huffington Post, and I said, you know what, Miss whoever was interviewing me, I don't want to cover fitness. It's not my thing. I want to cover how to help people, how to expose people doing good. We always focus on, in news, what everything is going bad. So I said, I want to focus on the Women's March. I want to focus on homeless, the veterans, and, people like Floyd Mayweather, who you think doesn't give money, but gives money, and I've seen it. He gave money to people who are really in need. I said, wow. Not only was I able to get my story on a platform, I'm able to write for them. That was amazing for me, because Huffington Post is a real, it's a real platform where people read. 51 million impressions every time I write a story. That's a lot of people I'm hitting. But I had to pick a choice to be either a professional boxer or start a career in personal training and start changing people's lives. That's what I wanted to do. This is all I knew. This is what I learned. This is what I changed to become. Because I know if I gotten hit with the kidneys again, I would have been done. I'm out. But I also knew that I was also getting good at a talent, specifically training people. So I started a company called Lifestyle Athletics, which is a multifaceted company that focuses on one thing, self-improvement. We have programs in prisons, after-school programming, and corporate wellness programs. Our after-school program is a 9-week curriculum program that focuses on, it's a mnemonic, leadership, integrity, foundation, effort, support, time, youth, love, and environment. That's what we focus on. So kids in prison, they get released early. Kids in after-school programs, they graduate. So we have that. We focus on that corporate wellness program. We create, fitness entities for people where they can have fun, enjoy themselves, meet with each other, and prison programs in California. I had to blur out the pictures because these are all juveniles. They don't want us to show their pictures. So this is a program that I created. And ladies and gentlemen, I've already been diagnosed with FSGS. I'm at stage 4 here. We're very advocate with the kidney walks. I talk to those families all day, every day. How are you doing? How are you keeping up? Knowing that I'm fighting my own battle. They don't even think I have kidney failure. And we do the 5K, the 10K. It's fun. We get exposures with CBS News.
Yeah, their mission to help raise awareness about kidney disease. According to the National Kidney Foundation, nearly 30 million people have kidney disease. Bryce Ruby received a kidney from his dad when he was just 10 months old. His best friend's mom gave him another kidney when he was 21.
There are many people out there that are struggling to find a transplant, and some are here that received one and are going to receive one, and it's a very powerful message.
Many people don't actually know that they have it. So it's a disease that silently but rapidly progresses, and once that happens, one may need dialysis or a transplant.
76 million people are at risk of developing kidney disease.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm good at. Besides FSGS, I've trained Major League Soccer players, professional boxers, personal trainers to be better at their own craft, and even UFC fighters for their up-and-coming fights. This is what I'm tremendously good at. But I'm also dealing with FSGS every single one of these posts here. Some of these professional athletes don't even know I have FSGS because I'm able to keep up with them at the very end stages of renal failure. Boxing has been my sport. So this is one thing that I did take away from learning how to box, is learning how to train professional athletes at a high level. And then learning all the strength and conditionings because of all the professional athletes that did come in, the Olympics that did come in, and I took in the information and I said, look, I'm fighting FSGS, I'm not gonna fight. Let me turn my passion that I once wanted to do and create it in other people. And I did that. Most of these guys are top elite level athletes now. Xbox calls me. He said, Mr. Coronel, you know your craft. We want you to be a choreography, to do the choreography for Extreme Combat for Xbox Fitness, and we want you front and center. At that point, I said, look, if you guys know what the signs and symptoms of FSGS is, it's pretty insane. You get cramps, you sleep all the time, I grasp for air sometimes, but I looked at this is my motivation here because everyone in there is healthy and I'm really, really fighting for my life. And this is all of us working out and I'm able to keep up at end-stage renal failure.
2, 1, stance. Punch it out.
I did the
Head
full
up.
choreography
Chest
to this.
up. Now, Xbox Fit can measure your intensity, so you should be punching hard here. 1, let's go. Let's go. Make it count. Make it count.
It's pretty
Come on.
amazing. I really think that I make
Good boy, Mark, here.
FSGS look
Come on,
easy.
Mark.
Look at that.
Let's go. Hit the gas pedal.
It's pretty
Horse
amazing.
stance. Ready? Let's go.
You know?
Punch it out. Punch it out. Stay with me.
You'll never know what somebody's battling.
Come
You know,
on.
you just never know what
Come on,
somebody's
that's right.
battling
We've got
in a
2.
situation like this.
We've got 1. Time.
You know?
Breathe. Come down to the ground, guys. This is a beauty.
So I did video games. I did all this thing while fighting for my life, and I started this business within my city, and I started banging on people's door to the point that the city of Los Angeles, of Panorama City, called me and said, Mr. Coronel, we have an open seat on the neighborhood council. We want you to be a councilman. Man, I'm a personal trainer. I don't know anything about politics. I'm not a politician of any sort. But he says, we need you because you have direct contact with the people in hundreds. I mean, I see about 2,000 kids a month, even till today. And I was sworn in on office. I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing, you know. What I started off as a journey, as my fight to fight kidney failure, people are listening and they're willing to give me a chance on a higher level to reach more people. So I got sworn in. They said, Mr. Coronel, you got to swear in. Swear in that you're going to take care of the people, you're going to be able to help the communities, and you're part of the council. But I also want to help the youth. So I became youth co-chair of Panorama City. I've placed 4 of those kids in college. I've put them all, you know, full scholarship runs. And on August 13th, that's when my life changed forever. We were headed to a comedy store, me and my fiance, and I said, I don't feel good. There's something wrong with me. And this is when it actually all kicked up. And I was at the border, at this line here. I said, oh no, my body's changing. We're on to the comedy store. She drives me back home, and I rushed to the bathroom. I said, oh man. I threw up twice, and I just passed out. She came in, started screaming, and I didn't understand what was going on because I was already blurred. The kidney failure had completely taken over my body. She says, we got to rush you to the hospital. My macho man side came out. I'm okay, I'm good, there's nothing wrong with me. She takes me to the hospital. Prior to that, my doctor had said, look, if you ever end up in a hospital, you're going to get on dialysis no matter what. That's why I was scared. That's why I told her I don't want to go to the hospital because I knew in the back of my mind that if I went to the hospital, I was getting on dialysis no matter what. I wasn't going to leave. I get to the hospital. They do blood panel, they do tests, and I was completely dehydrated. From training, from working out, them taking blood out, it caught up to me. They 6, 7 bottles of saline. You know what that looks like, ladies and gentlemen? Saline bottles. I brought one. I'm really close with my nurses and doctors now, so they give me like everything I ask for. Hey, can I have I'm doing a presentation. I need 7 bottles of saline. Can I get one just to show off? So they inject 7 of these. So I'm sitting in the hospital. I'm sitting down and I'm like, dang, 7 of these? I'm dehydrated. So they stick 7, where can I just put this down somewhere? Here. It's my prop for the day. They stick 7 bottles of saline. I get up, I'm like, dude, I can get out of here. I was like, I can tell my doctor that I'm okay, and he doesn't have to worry. So I get out of my room, I start shadow boxing, and I start doing some yoga poses. I just leave. I said, look, I can get out of here. There's no, I'm fine. That's what 7 bottles of saline can do to you when you're completely dehydrated, just so you know. So that's Friday. I wait 2 days. They want to make sure that I'm completely fine. They start sticking needles in my arm, so it gets really, really, really bruised. But I knew I was going to get on dialysis that day. I knew it. I just knew it. I knew it that day. And the thing about it is, I didn't know. I was so oblivious to what dialysis was, where they stick it in your arm, your upper arm, your chest, your leg. And they stick me, the doctor comes in Monday morning at 8:30, so I knew I was the first patient. He said, Mr. Coronel, I don't want to risk you dying if you leave here. So you're going to have to be on dialysis today. I sat with my fiance. I said, dang, what's up? When you hear something like that, I'm 32. I have a whole life ahead of me. I'm looking through Instagram. I'm like, damn, all my friends are going out. They're having fun with life. My life is going to completely change. But I don't know how much of a change will it happen. And he comes in that Monday. He says, look, we're putting you on dialysis, 12:30 p.m. Tells the nurse, write that down. So he writes it just like this Wi-Fi here. And I'm just looking at it for the next couple hours, 8:30, 9:30, 10. That's the fastest to 3 hours that I've had to see, just looking at it saying permacath placed today. And I just wait, I just chill. I'm like, wow, what's up, man? The nurse leaves, surgeon comes in, he says, I'm here to do a permacath. I said, hold on, man. You said 12, it's 11:30. Hold on, man. It's 11:30. You got to give me 30 minutes. Let me just grasp what I'm going through, man, because this is something really, really tough to grasp in. So I start Googling it, and this is the first picture that shows up. I'm like, oh, my God, this is what's going to happen to me. So if you guys know what a permacath is, does anyone know what a permacath is? Okay, for those who don't, it's two, whatever these things are called. Goes in, yes, right. And it goes into the intergular vein, which goes into the heart. And I'm like, man, but what if I have a heart attack if they put this in? What if? There's always this what if question when they do something particularly like this. But I was like, okay, well, I started to Google it, and I said, okay, well, what's going on? So surgeon comes back, it's 12 o'clock, puts me in a wheelchair, and this is the longest ride I've ever had to be. And I was like, it felt like Magic Mountain. He just kept rolling me, putting me back. And I remember going to the surgery room, and there were 5 people there. I walk in, it's like 20 degrees. I'm like, why is it so cold here? I just wanted to bring up conversation because I know that if I talked, I can calm myself down a bit. So I go in, I see the surgeon was with me. I seen the tech and anesthesiologist. Mr. Coronel, I had to lay on this like silver cold platform. I lay down, and the anesthesiologist gets my hand. She's like, what happened to your veins? I said, you guys did that. You guys did that. You guys did this to me. And then she finds a vein right here. She says, on the count of 10, when you get to 1, it'll be completely done. Surgeon turns my head. I said 10, 9, and I start hearing music. And I'm like, that's Snoop Dogg. I was like, you're the coolest surgeon I've ever met. He was like, I do surgeries to Snoop Dogg. I was like, oh, you're definitely my top. But I was really scared at the same time. I remember my fiance there. Don't leave me, hold my hand. And she was there throughout the whole process. And I'm very, very thankful for that. And I think that a lot of people who do go through this need that support system, that backbone, that crutch. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But I'm just very thankful I was able to hold her hand there, you know, because that's really a scary thing. And I decided to take a picture of what that catheter did look like on my chest. Fresh, first shot, boom. So I'm thinking, dang, man, so this is what my life becomes. I'm very depressed. I'm like, I'll never be the same again. I won't be able to train. And I go into this depressing state, crying every day, putting myself down, and really not, you know, being driven like I once was as that wanting to be that professional fighter, that councilman, that person on the huff. 2 days later, I get a call from the school and said, we have a brand new school. We want to name, because of the contributions you've done to our school and our kids, we want to name our gym after your name. And I said, dang, I didn't want to speak. Okay, great. So they call me, I go. This is literally my second day out of dialysis. I mean, the second day that they put this catheter on my chest. And I'm with the superintendent, a kid I put through college, and the dean.
Inside our school and outside our school. And thank you so much for your banner. This will be hanging up pretty soon. So thank you for everything you do for the business class. Thank you.
Fresh out. If you ever really want to know if somebody has a catheter, just look on the right side. You can see it. No problem. You can really see it. I mean, it's there. I have it. So, Mr. Coronel, would you like to speak? I don't want to speak, please. My anesthesia had wore down, so I was really dehydrated. I didn't know what to say. So I said, you know what? Let's go celebrate. Me, my fiance, and my sister. I just had a school gym named after me. That's something to be very proud of. You know, I'm proud of it. And we go. My girl gets super mad at me. I wake her up at 11 o'clock at night. We have to go to the doctors, to the ER. So I bring her with me, and she's so pissed, man. I take a picture because she's so pissed. She's like, you get me up at 11 o'clock at night. You got to take care of yourself. Man, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, holy crap. I was scared of this more than I was of the doctor. Forget that, you know what I'm saying? But what you don't realize once you get on dialysis and they start sucking the blood out of you, ladies and gentlemen, if you have cheese, more water, you're going to get swollen. Your eyes are going to turn red very fast. So I took pictures. I'm like, what the heck is going on with me? I'm mutating into something real crazy. I can only have about this much of water of glass a day in order for me to just sustain. The average person on dialysis, I've been on it now for 8 months. I haven't pissed in 6. This is the real truth. I haven't seen a bathroom in 6 months. Talk about, appreciating your life. That is one thing that I say. If there's one thing that you can bring back is being able to get up in the morning and just saying, you know what, it's a good day today. This is how much blood they take from me. Every time I go into the ER, because I am a kidney ESRD patient, end-stage renal failure patient. When I first did it, 3 was a lot. This is actually normal. If you see what a kidney transplant evaluation does to you, it's completely insane. So my girlfriend, my fiance is seeing me go through this whole man, I can't drink anymore, I can't have cheese. Our diets restrict from eating whatever you want down to peanut butter sandwich every single day. I walked in at 160, I'm 130 pounds now. I've lost all my water weight. I walk with no water weight at all. So she says, babe, you know what? I'll go get a kidney transplant evaluation. This is when I've already got this in. So she goes in, and for the patient, for the person trying to get the evaluation, they take about 15 tubes of blood. What did you get, 28? 28 tubes? They take about 28 tubes of blood, and they try to do a process of making sure that you don't have heart disease, any infections, bladder dysfunctions, ulcers, diseases, and obesities. So she passes that evaluation. Breeze just walks through. But then you also got to go through 6 different individuals. A finance coordinator to make sure that when she's out for the first 2 weeks that she's going to be taken care of. A social worker that makes sure that she's okay at home. A doctor to making sure that she's fully aware. And a psychiatrist to make sure that she's evaluated and make sure she doesn't have any mental issues. Oh, I want to just donate a kidney just because. So while she did it, 10 other people did it as well. 11, I'm sorry. 11 people tested, 10 were denied. So they're very strict on doing a kidney evaluation transplant. But the thing is this, is that one person passed, and that was her. But she was an A positive. Everybody else was an O, but they weren't qualified because maybe high blood pressure, bladder infection. They found out something when they went through a transplant evaluation. I'm very healthy. They walk in, oh man, why'd you make me do this, Mark? I got high blood pressure. I was like, oh man. So people don't know what they have. They think they're doing a good deed. They walk out mad as hell at me, man. They're really mad at me. And with the kidney donation, you guys know that I can donate to anyone, but I can only accept an O, right? So we tried all panels, and I can only accept an O. So now I'm stuck with a uphill battle with her. And there's also something called what is it called? A paired exchange. You guys know what a paired exchange is? Where you can do a donation swap for her kidney for somebody else, and then you get a kidney from that. And so I'm going through this depressing state. I'm just starting dialysis, and this is very, very new. She tried testing at the very beginning and all those 10 people, and I'm very thankful. You get to really know who your true friends are when you ask for a kidney donation because they're there to help you out. You know what I'm saying? Give it up. Give it up for the person trying to donate, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, give it up, give it up, give it up. I'm on dialysis. I'm getting depressed. I didn't work out anymore, and this is happening for the first couple weeks. And I read a book by The Alchemist. It says, "My heart is afraid that it has to suffer," the boy told the alchemist. "Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than suffering itself, and that no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search for its dreams." I said, damn, boom. I got to follow my dreams. I was a freaking boxer. I wanted to be that. I have a fresh catheter in my chest, and I said, hey, bro, do me a favor, record it. I'm boxing. Kidney failure life right there, man. So I just started boxing again, just to feel alive again. I needed to feel alive. I needed to put gloves on to see what it felt like to try punching. That was my very first day working out. I got on a bike. I did a 13-mile bike ride for the very first time on dialysis. And then I get a call from the NephCure Foundation. Mr. Coronel, we want you to come in, do a workout with kids with FSGS. It's a tough one for me. It's kids, you know. Sure. What do you need me to do? These kids have FSGS. They have a battle they're going to go through. You have FSGS. Can you do a full workout for them? NephCure says, you know, there's about 10 or 15. I've never worked with patients like myself, yet alone kids. Yet alone me saying yes to something that I didn't know what I was saying yes to. So you know what? They made a video for me, and this is it. They were so amazing. bike ride around here as a dialysis patient. I was so proud that I did a 13-mile bike ride as a dialysis patient. Because when I wasn't on dialysis, I didn't even do that once. And that was one of my most proudest moments in my life, was that I was able to complete that. I put it on my social media, and my friend says, dang, I didn't know you were going through that. Let's create a GoFundMe account and raise awareness for what you're going through. So we raise this GoFundMe account, and I get an email. It says, Mr. Coronel, you have to inform the people that donated you some money how you're doing now. It was tough because I had to share what the story meant, and it was talking about me being on dialysis and how my life completely changed. So I said, it took me a couple days to grasp, and I created a storyline of me on dialysis and really see what I'm going through, having to work from my desk, cleaning my blood, and share a little bit to the families and the people that did donate to me.
So this is my new life. This is how I have to conduct my business. I'm attached to this machine 3 hours a day. And it consists of cleaning my blood, making sure that I get all the nutrients back in my system. 3 hours a day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's what my life is now. Peace.
So I had to share that very quick to the people, so they really knew what was going on with me at that point. They knew. I hid it, even though I was on it. I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. I wasn't raised to say, you know, my mother always told me, she said, don't tell your story to make people feel sorry for you. Tell it to motivate. And I used that. I didn't want people to see me like this. I'm still like that. I just left. I was in the ER Monday. I was scared to come. I couldn't even, you know, I was scared to come because I was in the ER Monday. And this is about 2-3 weeks. And if you guys know, does anyone know how a dialysis center works? You do? Okay. Well, great. Perfect. I'll tell you what it's like. There's a scale that I have to weigh myself every day. I have to weigh myself every time I go into a dialysis center. You stand on a thing. You push a button, a paper comes out. It tells you your weight. You get to your assigned seat. You go in. What seat am I sitting on? It's divided by 30 chairs. After you get your weight, I say hi to every nurse. I want to be good with every nurse. I need the best care possible. People go in there, don't say a word. I have to say a word. You know, they know my family. They know my dad. They know my brother. They know everybody. This is my brother, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, you know. You go down, you sit. Fridays to Mondays is the hardest because you overflow on fluid. So I grasp for air because when you are on dialysis, you can't urinate it out anymore. It retains in your body and it goes through your head, through your hands, to your feet. Mine goes to my lungs, so I get hard time breathing at night. I know that on Sunday, every day I sleep regularly, but when I sleep on Sunday, I sleep like this. I have a desk by my bed. I lay down. I grasp fear because the air doesn't go to my feet. It goes to my lungs when I drink too much water. So I have to do that marathon run when it comes to drinking water. So on Sundays, I know that I have to sleep like this every Sunday. Well, my beautiful fiance has a nice bed that she gets to sleep on. I get to sleep on a desk. So I go into the dialysis center. You sit down. Hi, Mr. Coronel, and you grasp and then I get my oxygen. I only seen this in movies. Now I know how to put it like a pro. Very quickly, you gasp for air, put it in. On the weekend, I probably hold about 3 kilos because everything is kilos. They weigh you by kilos. And I said, how many is 3 kilos that you take off of me? So they take about 3 of these out. You know, this is a lot of water that you retain. You don't really know how much water you drink or how much you output But you know when you're on dialysis, because you just look at it go up, and then there's just a lot of fluid, you know. 3 of these a day. Every time I go in, they take out 3 kilos. And, you know, this is the first month of me being on dialysis, just learning about all this stuff. And my dad gives me a call. He says, son, I just got a call in Manila. He says, a guy calls to claims to be your brother. My brother, bro. I'm 33 years old. I'm finding out I have a brother now. I mean, that's, you know, pretty amazing. But who is this guy? I want to know who he is. I mean, you know, 11 people tried donating a kidney. 11 failed. She tried. She passed. Swap. Doctor tells us, look, if she gives you a kidney, she might not be able to give you a kid. You're not going to be able, there's going to be a high-risk pregnancy. So my dad tells me, you know, I have a secret. I was like, Dad, what's the secret? I'm on dialysis. You got to tell me now. I can die tomorrow. He says, you have a brother. You know. And, well, great. You know, let's see his, get a DNA test. Because, you know, this might be fake. You know, people will call you and say some stuff like that. And say, you know, some outrageous things. And he reaches out to, what's his name? So I reach out to him. What is this? 9/27. So that's September 27th from August 13th to September 27th. So that's literally a month and some change. Hey, how are you? I got news I got brother in Manila. I just wanted to get right to the point. Hey, how you doing? Nah, man, I'm on dialysis. What's going on? Yeah. He said, yeah, how are you? What's going on? How about you? I'm saying I'm working a lot. This is what I'm doing. I was like, great. I was like, can you send a picture of yourself? I want to see what you look like. I mean, you know, if you look something else, I'd know you're not my brother. So this picture comes in. Oh, Dad, stand up. He looks like my dad. Just here. This is my dad, ladies and gentlemen. I was like, there's no way they're not related. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has the same facial features, you know. And I was like, Dad, well, ask him if he's willing to donate a kidney. Because that's another, you willing to donate a kidney? You know, it's really hard. Dialysis is hard. And my dad calls me back a day later. He says, sure, he's willing to donate a kidney. But the problem is he's from Manila, never been to America. The visa system in America is a little different. So he goes to the visa office and was denied. This is his denial paper. He was denied he says, I'm going to America, I'm going to donate a kidney to my brother. The American embassy denied it. I said, oh man, he was denied once. Another time, he's going to take another 10 years before he's able to come to America. I hire a lawyer. I said, what do I do in an immigration standpoint where someone wants to donate a kidney to me, my actual half-brother from another country? He said, look, you're going to need some higher power for that. You're going to need a lot of different people to write you letters of recommendation. So I get a letter from the superintendent of the school district of how many schools, how many kids I put through schools, the police department, because I work with them as well, doctors, nurses, coaches. I had like letters up to maybe about this high. Just, Mark is a good guy. He deserves a kidney, X, Y, and Z. We go to Congress. I said, Congressman, look, I'm a councilman for Panorama City. I need your help bringing my brother in here. He says, well, what do you need help with? These are all the letters. My lawyer was there, and we get this letter from the Congress of the United States of America to the embassy in Manila, where he was from, to get a visa to come to America. It talks about who his passport was, what number he was leaving. It was on the receiving officer's desk that moment he came in at 10 a.m. Comes to his desk, sees Mark, comes up, he says approved, and says, you're doing a good deed for an American. That's great. Go ahead. So ladies and gentlemen, today is the 27th. He got here on the 1st. I've only known him for 27 days. And I brought him here today. Stand up. you don't know a story and you don't know where life takes you. You just got to believe and just go through the motion. Because 27 days ago, I didn't know I had a brother. On May 20th, that's when it got approved. Okay? So we're doing this process from the moment I was diagnosed with kidney failure, got on a dialysis, to finding out I have a brother. I mean, it can happen before while I was in my prime of my career, but it happened a month after my dialysis treatment. You know, there's something you have to believe in after that point. So I said, oh man, I'm about to meet my brother now for the very first time. We have to record this, man. We're at LAX. He's coming out LAX airport, the international Tom Bradley. And I see him for the first time. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. We're meeting my brother. Let's go. Come on, let's keep going. You know, he's walking out. Comes out. We get a video of him. You know, brings most of my family. My dad meets him for the very first time that he had a son. And then we're introducing him to everybody else in the family. My mom, my cousin, my fiance. This is when I first shake his hand ever. There's my mom. There's me. I'm so excited. I get, you know, somebody's coming in to do such a great deed for me, man. It's really amazing. So we're introducing everybody to everybody. He's already in America. This is June 1st. On June 6th, ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. Manila Immigration Office shuts down, or a specific department that gets him to America. So that's literally 5 days. That's June 6th. By a hair. That's by a hair of someone coming over here to do a good deed. And now today's June 27th. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our story of a patient fighting FSGS kidney failure that never, ever will give up. I'm going to keep going and striving to be the best me, no matter what. Thank you.